And we're live. We are live. WNAT.
Welcome in, man. Thanks for coming out. Listen, you got anything going on? I'm super busy. You want to know what I got going on? You know what? You want to know what I'm doing?
I don't think the show's that long, but sure. Cliff notes.
All right, so we just closed a deal. Did we talk about the one with the pool?
I'm not sure if we did on here. I know we talked about
This is going to be pretty informative. This is good for anybody who's listening because this is a valuable lesson here. So we had a home with the pool. I'm representing the sellers. We list the house, do our seller property disclosure, all this stuff. There is a feature on pool pumps that comes. It's kind of like your modern dishwasher or your washer. So I'm gonna simplify it and talk about my washing machine first. So the way my washing machine works is when you go to put the stuff in, you pull out this little drawer. There's these cups that we don't use, and what these cups are is you like pre-fill like a whole bunch of soap in there, and then you set it to like auto dispense. And then when you close that drawer, you start your laundry, and you're supposed to be able to do laundry for like a week without ever putting soap in it. Problem is it uses way too much soap, or it doesn't use enough soap. It's a terrible system. So nobody I know that has this uses it. Everybody's like, I just want the old-fashioned. So also on this drawer is a little cup where you put soap in. So every time we do laundry, we put soap in there rather than using the auto dispenser. Most pools come with the exact same situation. They have a whole pool pump. Then they have this side product that's like this salt cell. And you can get the pool company to like preload this with like salt or chlorine tablets or whatever. And then it's supposed to auto dispense. No one I know uses this. So if you use it, put it in the comments, whatever, I'm wrong. But a lot of people don't use it. And the pool companies, it's easier for them to maintain just adding it manually as it's needed, less or more, when they come to service the pool. So these sellers, that's exactly what they're doing. They don't even use this salt cell system. Haven't used it for like years. So there's a pool pump. Then there's a salt cell. They're not using that salt cell. The pool company that they have service it, they're manually adding chlorine and chemicals to the pool to keep it balanced. That's it. We go under contract. People do their home inspection. However, they do not do a pool inspection. So they don't do a pool inspection at all during the due diligence. So that's the first thing I would say. If you're getting a pool, if you're buying a house with a pool, hire a pool company inspector. The general inspector is there to kind of like make sure the house doesn't have any surprise problems, but he knows nothing about pools.
Especially on older homes.
Yeah.
You want to have these pools and pumps looked at.
Exactly.
For sure.
And pools are expensive. I got a pool I just got a quote for a pool, $107,000. So if you're buying a house that has $100,000 to $200,000 pool, you should probably get it inspected, because if there's something major wrong with it, it's going to cost you a lot of money to get it fixed. So anyway, we go through the contract. We do our due diligence period. There was a couple things wrong with the house. Windows were like this big hang up with this house. So we get all those problems solved. Get all the way to closing. All the way to closing. And the people do their final walkthrough, and I get a heads up from the agent. And it's like, oh, there's a bunch of major issues with this pool. And I'm like, well, first of all, there's not a bunch of major issues with this pool. Second of all, your due diligence period was 3 weeks ago. You didn't even have it inspected. Now we're headed to the closing table, and you're coming up with this. So then I'm like, what's going on with the pool? Oh, well, the salt cell's not working. They called the pool company because the sellers transferred, like, hey, this is the company we use for the pool. And so they called the pool company kind of to like start service with them, since they're taking over the house, taking over the pool, which is all fine, all normal. But then they're literally telling me, oh, the pool company says that this salt cell doesn't work, and the owners don't use it, and they use chlorine because it's broken, and they're expensive, so we're going to need a $1,500 credit to get this deal to close today. Right away, the sellers are like furious, and I'm kind of like, hold on a second.
Rightfully.
Did you get an inspection on this pool? What are we talking about? And so I'm going back and forth with the agent like all day. It literally takes up my day. And I'm like, listen, where do you even see that this doesn't work? Because my people aren't just giving a $1,500 credit because all of a sudden your buyer said that something doesn't work, when they're like, no, everything works. We just don't use that system.
Yep.
And so we track it down.
In the same way with your washer, right?
Same thing.
It's like, hey, you could use this, but this way is more efficient. I don't waste, or whatever the case may be. It does work.
That's right. So they're like, oh, well, so-and-so at the pool company said this. So finally we tracked down the owner of the pool service company, the guy that actually does the service. The person that they're telling me told them this is the secretary at the pool company. And he's like, she does not know anything about the pools. She like answers the phone. He's like, what she said was, we don't use that system. And if there's anything wrong with it, if it needs replaced, then, it's $500 to $1,500. So they're just trying to get 50. He's like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that pool. And I'm like, can you put that in an email for me, please? And he puts it in an email like, hey, we've been servicing this pool X amount of years. Absolutely nothing went wrong with this pool. The owners don't use that system. If we start using it, we have to service it because that's how it works. And so then once I sent that over to them, they were like, I got an email back from the agent and was like, we are good to go forward at closing. Now, here's where the hang up is, because I'm like, whatever. And he came in here. He's a nice guy. This was kind of like a moment of coaching. He's from a different brokerage. And I'm like, listen, dude, like, you got to get a pool inspection during your due diligence period. Mm-hmm. You can't just not get a pool inspection and then at closing, all of a sudden this thing is an issue. Like,
all right. I got two sidebars to this point.
Yeah.
One's a question, and then one is kind of a comment of something that I run into, not necessarily in the pool world, but in the lending world. You have people that will value the opinions of people that have no idea about what they're doing. Yeah. So, for instance, I talked to somebody about a home loan. Like, hey, this sounds great. You're going to be able to do this and this and that. They go and talk to their aunt, who is a school teacher, or their uncle who's an auto mechanic, and he's like, and I talked to them, and they just don't think this is a good idea. Like, why? Well, they just said they don't. So in this situation with a pool, I talked to somebody that really doesn't know anything about it, and
gave generalities,
informing them about something that they're not a professional at. So, and I run people all the time now that this will paralyze them. What we call analysis paralysis, right? Where you get all these opinions of people that either have never done it or have no idea about doing it, and then make their decision on that. A lot of times when that happens, they'll go and talk to somebody else, like their uncle or their aunt, their auto mechanic, whatever it is, and then they totally ghost you off of misinformation. So be informed, really be informed, not just with pools, but in lending and real estate, and whatever you do, talk to a pro. Don't just talk to somebody that's in your family that has no idea, and they want to just tell you to run away as fast as you can because that's what they do when maybe tough decisions come up.
And by all means, talk to your family and share ideas with your family.
That's not the point, yes.
Understand, like, when you do that, you've got to also talk through the filter of expertise and experience. Like, who's the expert? Who has the experience? So when I share ideas with people, I have that kind of filter. Like, who is this person? What do they know? Like, okay, good. So opinions are fine, all that's fine, but like, how does it actually play out? Yeah, it can be a deal breaker.
Point two, second sidebar, and something I've actually ran into recently. Let's talk about value of pools and what do they do to a value. And this may not be just pools. This could be kitchen renovations. This could be certain things that you do to your home that cost does not always equal value.
Yeah.
And so I have cases where people are like, well, this one's got a pool, and so it's worth $150,000 more in the house. I'm like, it's really not. So where do you stand, or where from a real estate perspective, is there a percentage of value that pools can add?
That's a good question.
What are you kind of seeing on that front?
All right, so I have to talk about a couple different things. First of all, I have to talk about geographically. Like, I grew up in St. Pete, Florida. Everybody had a pool. If you didn't have a pool, that was weird. that you didn't have a pool. Even if you had a 1950 block house that was just like grandma lived in it for the last 40 years, it still had some type of pool out back. So it was very common. Up here, it's almost the opposite. Pools were not as popular. And I think what happened was during the boom of pre-planned neighborhoods, master plan neighborhoods, they were putting in community pools everywhere. So everywhere has a community pool. So people sell themselves on the idea that I love the community pool and I don't need my own backyard pool. So that was fine. And this is all pre-COVID world. This is the other bit of it. So geographically, we're a little different. And I think a big part of that is we have 5 military installations here. So 2 Navy bases, Marine Corps, Florida National Guard. So we have people from all over here in Jacksonville. And I've met a lot of people that they grew up in Wisconsin. Having a pool was not the norm.
Yeah.
So they don't see it as something that we want here. Where like I grew up in Florida and I'm like, it's killing me that I don't have a pool in my own yard.
Yep.
And the community pool is nice. However, what's not nice is loading up your family in a hot Suburban,
Sunscreening them,
going down to the pool. Everybody gets wet and
Any
cools
parents
off.
out there, real quick, that have ever had to I have 6 kids. When you have to sunscreen them, it is like it's a full thing.
I don't use sunscreen.
That's why we go to the pool at like 6 at night.
Well,
where you don't need it. Anyways,
and the second bit of going in the evening too is like now you just cooled off in the pool. Now you got to load up in that hot Suburban and drive home, and you're all hot again already. Or it's one kid's nap time, so we can't go to the pool with the other kids.
we don't mess with that.
If it's in your backyard, it's available 24/7. You and the wife can go take a dip and cool off in the evening after bedtime. There's a lot of benefits to it. Okay.
Which is great. And that's $100,000 that's well spent for you to spend with your family. But
but what value does it add?
Yes.
So this is good. So again, we have to look at pre-COVID and post-COVID world, because pre-COVID world, it was where when I was running comps, like your house has a pool, but all the similar comps didn't. So I might add like 20 grand value or put like a number value on that. You never got, and the best way to do it is once you have experience like we have prior, and you can't always get your hands on them, but if you ask every single time, you'll get your hands on a few of them, the actual appraisal report. What is the appraiser? Because when I sit down and value people's houses, I'm like, great, we could put $1 million on it. And if somebody came and gave you that, it still isn't going to appraise. So we still have to fit into like, and so when I show people values of what I think we can sell your house for, what you can walk away with, I also bring up things. Like I went to one the other day, and the most recent sales in their neighborhood, which is a higher price point than the surrounding neighborhoods, were like 18 months ago. Yeah. And the appraiser is only going to go back 6 months. So he's going to be using comps outside the neighborhood. So how is that going to affect our sale? But we used to put numbers on it. And if you can get those numbers from what the appraiser's doing, it kind of helps you. However, during COVID, they shut down all the public pools. It was too dangerous to go out in the sun. And so then everybody started getting swimming pools.
Hilarious.
And then the price of pools, they printed billions of dollars. We talk about it all the time. And so the pool price went up. So now I'm seeing a lot more private pools because people realize I don't have control. I can't go at nighttime up to that pool. I can't do X, Y, Z there. I want a pool in my backyard. So you start getting them. Now I find that there's enough comps. So here's how I value it. I don't necessarily add or take away value for pools. If I have a home that has a pool for sale, I only look at pool comps to see. And then if the houses are slightly different, I take away or add value that way. So that way I'm not just throwing arbitrary numbers at the pool. But
the pool, would it be
the pool's
50%?
The pool is a luxury. So when you spend $100,000 to put it in the pool, you're doing that for your enjoyment. It will help your resale, but no, it's not going to be dollar for dollar. Just like you mentioned, same thing with your kitchen, same thing with your bathroom upgrade. So by all means, do the pool you want. So in this case for us, like I have people in our neighborhoods that have spent $250,000, $300,000 on their pool, getting just like creme de la creme setup. I'm not going to do that because I know I'm probably not going to be in this particular house forever. I'm planning to be there 10, 15 years. Maybe we'll be there longer, but that will, we have children. It's a big house. Eventually those children, and I don't really have a goal to downsize because I want my grandchildren to have a space as well. But So the thing is, that means I want to live at the beach. I want to live on the marsh with like a boat dock out back. So I know I'm not going to be in this neighborhood forever. So when I'm looking at the pool, I'm getting like the rectangle pool, paver patio around it, a little hot tub, and like that's it. I'm not going like lazy river, rock, waterfall, all that stuff.
Or you're just gonna go buy a house that has a pool
Yeah.
in it.
I'm never going to get my money. So there's no, Trevor, there's no like straight answer on like what's the pool worth.
There's not, but I'm not a realtor. I'm a lender. So
Yeah.
I'll say what I typically see, and this is just shooting from the hip. But
No,
I think it's about 50% of what
Yeah.
the cost is what will actually add value.
You lose value for sure.
to your home. Kind of like you're like, hey, I went and got this sweet Corvette. It's awesome, man. As soon as you drive it off the lot, it's depreciated.
You should be getting the pool for the enjoyment of the pool, not necessarily the resale. It's just like when you buy a house, like when people, should I buy now or should I not? Well, is the time right for you? Do you have a change in your family circumstances that need you to get a bigger, smaller, more expensive, cheaper house? Do you have death, divorce, babies, marriages, all those things? All right, so now look at the pool. Do you have a bunch of children? Do you want a place to relax in the evenings? Can you afford it? Then get the pool. Way into your decision, no, it will help with your resale, but you may not get dollar for dollar out of that pool. But if you put the pool in, live in the house for 10 years, enjoy the pool.
The only people that
maintain
got
it, it's
dollar
gonna
for
help.
dollar are the people that put it in either before COVID or right during COVID.
Yeah, because now they're so expensive.
It was like, I feel like every yard in my house, I just saw people building pools during COVID.
Yeah.
They couldn't go anywhere they wanted to swim. But yeah, because I just ran into a lot. I was like, well, I have a pool, so it's probably at least $100,000. I'm like, it's
Yeah,
not. It costs that much now, but you're not going to get that.
Yeah.
So something else I'm seeing out now, and I don't know other parts of the country, but in Florida, new construction is like insane, especially in our area. It was just everywhere.
It's so tough.
Silverleaf, Rivertown, Shearwater, all these places that are just building thousands and thousands of homes. And so realtors I'm seeing that are getting listings in this neighborhood, they're, until the builder is done completing, they are competing against the builder.
Oh,
like
100%.
Resales in like new build neighborhoods are so hard. And you're competing against a builder that can throw more money than you're ever going to have at a deal.
And okay, so like look at Lennar. Was it Pulte or Lennar? One of them, it doesn't matter. One of them put out in their earnings statements that they're throwing about $80,000 worth of incentives at every deal to get it closed. So, for example, if they're selling a house for $400,000, they're throwing $80,000 at that transaction to get it closed. That comes in the form of rate buy downs. Pulte, I just went in a Pulte neighborhood. They were giving a $60,000 credit for pools, by the way. So like you build your house, here's $60K. So when you go get the pool company and gives you that $100,000 quote, now you're only rolling $40K into your loan because they're covering 60 of it, right? So like those are the incentives they're offering. So if you're trying to sell your house at 400 because the builder just sold their house at 400, get ready to give some closing costs, buy the rate down, throw some incentive money.
It's going to be impossible for people that have bought in the last 3 years
Well,
to compete with a builder.
And-
There's going to be no way. You'll never be able to give up enough money to get your house moved because they're just going to turn around and say, well, I'll just go here because I can get a pool or I can get these incentives or they can offer me this and that. So, I mean, people that are looking at new construction, I know that it's like the shiny object and you want the new house. My wife's the same way. She wants the new house.
yeah, you're there.
But the other side of it, you better plan on being there for a while because until that builder's done building,
It's not even-
it's going to be really tough to keep your value there because the builder is giving incentives. They may reduce price. I mean, you're going to overpay when you go to get a new build,
Right. And you got,
in a sense.
you have to keep this in mind too. Like, I built a new house. You did my loan on my new house. That's E-Town. E-Town was, there's 7 different neighborhoods in E-Town.
Mm-hmm.
There's different builders, Toll Brothers, David Weekly, Providence, etc. A whole
Yep.
handful, 7 different neighborhoods in this one community. The community was developed by the Park Group. So our neighborhood is built out, and you would say, sweet, now we can start selling our homes in this neighborhood. But Park Group, what's up, dude? Matt just walked in. Welcome. Happy Monday.
Man, the myth, legend.
So what we talk about E-Town, so you would think, oh, sweet, like the builders are all done, I can start selling. Well, E-Town's got a big Publix and it's got a big roundabout and stuff, and then it just dead ends at the trees. Well, Park Group just decided to develop, which is fine, Everrange, which is basically the same thing as E-Town. So now you have Everrange, literally, and it connects at the Publix shopping center that's like central to this neighborhood. So it's not just about E-Town, it's about the communities that are being built 10 minutes down the road, 15, within 30 minutes. Again, if I'm a active service duty member coming from Wisconsin, or I'm coming on orders from Pensacola, Virginia, San Diego, and I'm looking at E-Town, oh, well, right down the road is Everrange. I can just move in there just as easy, and all those incentives there. So it's really tough.
Not to mention
compete.
down from you from there is was it a seven?
Seven Pines.
Yeah, Seven Pines. So they've got a whole thing that's,
Same thing.
that's going in there. They're building this, surf park.
So
that's
yes.
being built there. So it's like if you have new construction in this area, it's going to be really tough to resell. I think without incentives or without losing a lot of money against these new builders, because people just want the convenience and all the incentives.
It always cracks me up when when they talk about their floor plan. Oh, I'm in this floor plan. I need to sell my house. I'm in this floor plan. It's a real desirable floor plan. You can't get it anymore. And I'm like,
you and 3,000 other people are also.
Nobody gives a rip about your floor plan. Nobody cares. And all those upgrades that you did are still pretty like base, construction model. So
or they roll them all in and they give you these huge incentives towards your rate, and you don't even care about what's going in your house. And maybe it's not high quality. Maybe it's
and people will sell themselves on like, I'm not paying the builder for hard floors. I'll get carpet. I'll change the floors once I move in because it's cheaper than getting it from the builder, which in most cases is true.
Yeah, no, you won't.
I did that. I ripped up the floor in my first house and just painted the concrete. I had concrete floors, and then when I went to sell it, guess what I did? Dropped a bunch of money on floors just for the next person. Never spent the money on myself. Anyway, so those are we were kind of all over the place. But the problem is, or the point is that, when you're selling your house, you're competing. And if you're in Northeast Florida, you're competing with builders all over, because to an out-of-state person, it doesn't matter. And they don't give a rip about the name of your floor plan. It's not a thing. And if you have a pool, pools are starting to help. I think the trend of like even in E-Town, to compare to my last neighborhood that was started in 2007, it actually went bankrupt when the thing did, and it went through some stuff. But they built this $5 million complex. And in that complex, it had like tennis courts, it had a water slide, the lap pool, the kiddie pool, sand volleyball, outdoor kitchen area, all this stuff, right? Well, then that neighborhood right now has a $3,000 CDD, $3,000 a year, and people are moving out of the neighborhood because of it. And then it's hard to sell the house because people don't want to take that on. But the developers have also learned, like, this $5 million complex costs a crap ton of money to maintain. Mm-hmm. So even in E-Town, which is more of a luxury neighborhood, has what I think, better homes, better quality, higher end builders. The pool that we have is very simple. It's just a regular old pool, and then our CDD is only $1,700 a month. So you live in a much nicer community for much less. And
a year.
Yeah, a year. And I think, 17 a year, not a month. But what I think is...
Better be bringing out caviar.
Yeah, no.
Champagne every time.
Right, I know. So the point is, I think the developers, the neighborhoods, the communities, they're kind of backing away from these crazy planned urban neighborhood amenity centers and getting to more simple amenities. And then it's up to you to, if I want to put that pool in my backyard, which is why I think we're starting to see more of them. And all that came after the COVID shift.
Yeah, and I think that it's important to think about right now and your future. We talk about it all the time here. We talked last time about veterans using their entitlement multiple times, maybe starting with a small house now and kind of building upon that, not just being like, oh, this is the house that I want and I'm just going to get it, and not think about where I may be in the next 5 years. From a lending standpoint, there are loans that you can get that are renovation loans. You can get properties under value. You can do your own upgrades to the house if you like that neighborhood or whatever, without having to go new build. People just think that all I can do is go in and have a builder build me a new house. I
Yeah.
can pick all the things out. You can find older homes and you can get money to renovate them. You get them a little bit under value for what they're listing them for, and then you could add a pool that way. You could do renovations that way. Spend a little time. All the things you said you're gonna do, the builders are gonna do. You could have it in the loan.
Yeah,
make
that's
one
perfect.
payment and renovate everything. So it's not just that you have to go get new build to do the things you want to do. There are options out there. Now you're not going to get the 3.99, but you could get into a desirable neighborhood with a better lot. You're not handing sugar out the window to your neighbor and you're on top of each other. All these new neighborhoods, you're on top of
so
each other. You
close.
don't get lots. If you want a lot, you're going to pay $1 million.
$1 million.
So I think just people need to step back and stop just reaching for the first thing that comes up, like, oh, new build, all these things. Like there are other houses out there, and where we live, it's sort of new build, but it's kind of becoming an older community now.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. They're not building
There's
in there
trees.
anymore. Houses are reselling great. We have a little bit of a bigger lot, where we are versus some other folks. So really consider some things. Don't just go for the shiny object.
I agree with that. And I actually think, when I built my house, when I signed the contract to build it in 2022, there weren't homes available. Where now there's plenty of inventory, so you have the option. And you can get them at a lower price, especially on this side of town. There's not as much building. I'm 20 minutes in from the beach, but if you're coming over to this like Kernan, Hodges, San Pablo, there's not a lot of new stuff. Shifting a little bit, I'm staying busy, closing a deal or two a week. I know you're staying busy. So things have definitely picked up after like a 3-year, kind of lull in it. But here's what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
I missed hunting season this year. I missed it. I didn't get to go. Had some guys that were like, yeah, come out to my lease. I'll come out Friday. And what happens is they don't call you on Friday. And I get it because they're paying money for the lease and you're not. And if you go sit and stand with them and take a deer that they could get, that's fine. So I started talking to the guys again. I'm like, hey, because right about this time of year, the leases are starting to open up. And I talked to some guys.
And you bought all the gear.
I got all the gear. I'm ready to go. I paid the startup fee. Now I just got to get the spot. Got to get on the spot. And so with that, I started looking, like a couple buddies. We've got a bunch of like fires going on. They're showing me pictures of their trail cam. Their whole place is like burned up. And so they're like, man, I don't know if my spot's going to be good. I've talked to some season hunters and they're like, you'd be surprised, like by winter, we'll be back and there'll be enough wildlife. It could take an immediate hit, but by next season. Well, then you start talking to some and the spots are like $2,400. You're like, man, that's a lot just to like lease this property that got burned up this summer. So what I'm looking at is trying to get some land. So now if I go out to like Tallahassee, Florida, Georgia line, maybe just up even into Georgia or whatever, you can get like 100 acres for like $300,000.
Very much between here and Tallahassee.
No, there's not. So I'm like, what if I just if I can afford the pool, I can afford the like 100 acres. Like now what's my future look like this way? And I started thinking about that and I'm like, even if I bought a place, put a little cabin on it or put, a couple campers on it and had now it's a vacation spot for my family out in the woods. We can create a hunting camp, go there anytime we need, it's 2, 3, 4 hour drive away, right? That's where I'm looking, kind of close.
Are you going to like convert a school bus into a house and quit this whole thing and move out?
No. But here's my question. I'm not the only one that wants this. So the problem comes with financing this. So give me some pointers on like because
there's loans you can get for land. I mean,
how's that work?
The same way getting a mortgage does.
What kind of percentage are we putting down?
The thing is that most lenders aren't going to be land lenders. Some people want to dabble in it, some don't. We do.
What is it hard? Why do they not want to do it? They don't get paid as much.
Well, because some lands are like $30,000.
No,
some lands like $50,000.
Right.
Like you're going to have smaller amounts of land versus like, oh, I want to buy this $500,000 piece of land.
The ones I'm looking at are $300,000. So we're talking what, 20% down?
Not in every case, no. I mean, it could be a lot like a house. I mean, you may have 5-10% down, but some may want 20%. It's not going to be as cut and dry.
If it has a dirty, rotten house on it, is it easier to get financing than if it's totally vacant?
If there's a property on it, then it's not a land loan. So it's a little bit of a different, yeah.
A little easier.
I wouldn't say easier.
Because if it's rotten.
It's a little tricky if you got a property there and you want to like tear it down and build on that.
Because appraisals and everything else to get involved.
Yeah, I mean, you're better off if you want land to just get a piece of land. And some of the land stuff we maybe will do with the structure on, but you're getting into like residential versus land, and it's kind of two separate things. But it's going to be looked at and qualified really the same way that you would a normal mortgage.
That's good to know.
There's also loans too that you can, if you want to construct on that land, you can buy the land and get construction at the same time.
Can you use that construction loan to get like a? Do you know what a park model is?
Like RV. It's to lease the land out.
It's really in between an RV. So a park model, they built these a lot, and some of them look really good now. They're like little one bed. Basically, think about a manufactured home or a trailer home, and then think about a camper. It's kind of in the middle. So it's a little smaller than a manufactured home, but it's not meant to be on the road 24/7 like a camper. So you get this park model. It's like maybe like 1,000 square foot, smaller little thing. Has like one bedroom, a loft inside.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get residential lending on that.
You can't get a loan. See, that's the problem.
It's not on a permanent.
It's like tiny.
It's not on a permanent foundation. Now, there's probably specialized lenders out there, and there are lenders.
But they do
We
manufactured
do them.
homes.
They'll do new construction manufactured. But I mean,
But it doesn't
not
meet
like
those.
if it can be. We don't do real estate. We do real estate. So if it can be driven off, it's not something that we would lend on. We're dealing with permanent foundation, which it could have previously been a mobile home. But if you're talking about purchasing
These right here.
so like
These are park model homes.
I mean, they're almost modular in a sense, but that is not going to be wheeled away. That's going to be on a foundation.
Yeah, that's the whole. Yeah, they're like I said.
If they wheel it there and put it on a foundation, that's fine, and you could get
So you
lending
could
on that.
potentially
But
do it
if
like
they,
this. Look at this
if it's if you could like get in the driver's seat and drive it.
So if I get 100 acres for $300K out in near Tallahassee, pick one of these up and have it delivered there. We could wrap that up into a finance deal.
Possibly, it's a little tricky because they're gonna want money up front of some sort. So, are you? If they would take it there, put it on a permanent foundation, then you could probably build that all into one price.
Look at this one; it's clearly on.
Yeah, it is on a foundation. Now, if that was there on the property, and you're like, "Hey, I want to buy this property and this house you just put on here, we'll wrap that in." That's fine. But if it's like, "Hey, I want money to go and purchase this and then put it on there," that may be a little bit trickier.
Okay.
So these aren't really your cut and dry deals. It's gonna be a little more complicated. But it definitely something. I mean, that is a home. That's a single family home.
Cool. Good to know. Let's start working on that.
So
if we're getting the pool, I'm not getting the pool until I get the land.
your pool's gonna cost more than your house should.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it would be sweet. I mean, those are really really cool, and I mean, I think they're relatively affordable.
Yeah. What do they cost?
What you can do, I don't know, 80 grand.
90 grand. This one says 11. Used up 33 grand. I'm just looking at the Google page here.
Yeah.
2100. Look, Walmart sells one for $21,000.
What could go wrong with that?
Oh, or look, you could go like what about now these sheds?
I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't go to Walmart, and I'm surely not gonna buy a house. That's for me. There are other folks out there love Walmart. More power to you.
Well,
not my cup of tea.
I mean, this isn't just important to me, but this comes up a lot. I get a lot of people that want to buy land. I've done 2 vacant lands this year.
What they're better off doing is probably just going and buying their land, get their land, and then there's probably a company like whatever this is that will finance you that home.
Yeah.
And will come and put it out on a found. If they're building these and moving, that's what they do. So there's probably an option there that you can get financing through. Not that I wouldn't want to do it, but an $80,000 house,
Yeah.
they're probably gonna have a better option, through that. But getting the land would probably be the first step. When you want to wrap them all together, you can do that, but you're better off if you're gonna buy the land and doing it all to do a construction loan. And they're not gonna build like that. I'm talking
No,
about like
you're gonna have
a
to build
legit.
Yeah, but the
operation.
next case just build like a cabin.
Yeah, then you
Call
can
it
build a
done.
house and wherever you want to be.
Go to the wood cabin builder and have them build you one.
Yeah.
Somehow. Cool, man. No, it comes up a lot, and a lot of people, we did a deal. We'll touch base on this since we're doing it. I got a guy under contract right now for vacant land. Actually, got to touch base with him today. He found a lot. He had a home that he owned outright, rented it out. He pulled money out of it, right?
Yep.
The tenant, what they're paying still covers the cost to do it. Then
Free money.
Yep. Then he bought cash, went under contract on like a 1 acre lot. And he already owns a manufactured home that is on another property that he pays a land lease for. So now he's going to be canceling that lease. He is going to have to pay to move that home. Got quotes on that. But during the due diligence period, got like the septic quote, talked to the county, the zoning board, all this stuff to make sure, can I move my property here?
Yep.
So all that stuff, check. And he seems like he's good to go. And so he'll be set to close on that this month. And essentially didn't cost him anything. I mean, he had a home that he paid off and all that stuff and rented it out, but he made the investment. So it cost him an investment, but now he's basically going to be living for free off of the income from that other house
But this also ties back into what we talked about last
that he
week.
bought with a VA loan.
Okay. Exactly ties in. So he bought a house, lived in it for a little bit, then rented it out, got enough equity in it to where he then can convert it out to money in his pocket years later to now invest in what he wants to invest in, buying a piece of land and putting his house on
Yeah,
it.
he probably
So
bought that house like 15 years
he
ago.
could have been the guy that said, "Nah, man, I'm going to get the new Jeep or the new truck or whatever, and screw buying a house. I'm just going to rent." And then 10 years down the road, what are they doing? Still renting. And this guy is now on maybe his second, third home, and really setting himself up for his future. So,
Well, it reminds me of someone else I need to call that I talked to last week. That was kind of their question. Like, hey, if I take a HELOC and I update the kitchen, like, is that going to help me with resale? And it's like, it all depends what you do, how long you live, how long you spend. We talked about things like don't max out, your HELOC so that then when you go to sell, you got to bring money to the table to close it off. But if you do it smartly, yes. And what that HELOC is not meant for is going to buy a boat or a new truck, which will absolutely not help you with your resale.
yeah.
You
And
know.
you would be able to probably get better financing not pulling out of your HELOC. But, I mean,
But if you,
you ever said those things where you look back like, man, I wish I had known that.
Yeah.
We are those people telling you to wish you known that at your age right now. Like, you need to step in and be like, the people that have been there and done this thing. It's like, oh, if I could go back and we've been through the experience, like, be smart. Our veterans out there, be smart.
yeah.
Don't be an idiot. I was an idiot when I was young financially in my 20s,
Right.
early 20s. I had no idea what I was doing.
Some would say,
You just be smart. Where people here telling you like, "Oh, I wish I'd known that." We know that, and there's things that I'm sure if we could go back and do them differently,
dude.
we probably would.
No, we
We'd-
could.
We'd probably be millionaires by now. We're not. Maybe we're trying to get there, but
every year I'm learning new things. And so we have our own personal experiences that we've learned from, and then we double that down. I mean, 100x it. The hundreds of clients that we work with over the years is like, boom, like here at Someday Homes. I mean, we closed 86 transactions with our little team last year. You're like, that's 86 scenarios, 86 different transactions that each came with 10 different hurdles to get over.
Yeah.
And so all that experience comes together.
I mean,
and
that's
how
1
we're
year,
able
and
to
then
share
you
this
multiply that by this
By
is like
8 years.
15th year.
Yeah.
For me, 8 for you. But yeah.
8 consecutive.
There's a lot of experience there, and do we know everything? No. Are there other people out there that are probably great at their jobs and can do them too? Yeah. there's not one person that's only good at their job, but
Yeah.
we're trying to present it in an honest way to prevent you from making those mistakes. Like, I've got kids, you've got kids. You tell them things every day to try to prevent them from making the mistakes that you made. And we're here from a financial standpoint, real estate, lending, trying to help those folks out there that are navigating buying a home to not make the same mistakes that we've seen people make over the years.
All the time. So, well, man, there is a ton of stuff that we could talk about, and we'll save it for next time. I think we'll wrap it up here and get on with our days. I don't know, you saw my checklist in there. Got a lot to do, and I got to be out of here by 3. I know you got kids to pick up
Yep.
and everything
And
else. So,
other work things going on today and kids things. And so, but I wouldn't change it, man. I love the flexibility of what I do.
yeah.
Provide for my family, but also be there for them. I'm a very present dad. I know you are too. So
Yeah.
it's important.
Well, we stay really busy. Like, it's weird. It comes in waves, and one of the challenges is to accept the waves. Like, last weekend, not this weekend, it was Mother's Day, so I didn't work on Sunday, period. Just made that goal. There was a couple urgent texts that came in that I responded to, but everybody else I just straight up ignored. Yeah, surprise. Hey, I got this thing to sign at like 3 a.m. Don't sign that. That's phishing. The title company's not working at 3 a.m. on Sunday, okay? Do not sign it. Let me see what's
And
going
if they
on.
are, let me get their number because they might be the best talk company I've ever.
Yeah, right.
They're not working.
At 3 a.m. on Mother's Day. Do not sign that form. So that's an urgent text to respond to. Right. And then aside from that, but like the weekend before, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I mean, I worked till 8:30 at night every single day. I came home from church Sunday and I was like, Shauna, let me just work till like 2 o'clock and then I'll hang out with you guys. Ended up working till 8:30 nonstop. By the time then Monday was another full day into the dark hours. Tuesday came around and it was like 1:30 and I was like, I don't have anything to do. And so I went home at 2 p.m. and took a nap till 7. So it comes like in these waves where you're like, you have
I'm
to
pretty sure my house would
learn.
be on fire if I ever took a 5-hour nap. But that's awesome.
It was the first nap in like a year and a half.
Yeah.
I just was like, after 4 straight days of like
5
dusk
hours
till
is
dawn.
like a coma at that point. But
Yeah, but then right after it today, I was up at 4. I was up at 3 a.m., 4:30 a.m. Had to get to the gym and do stuff, and then, that's where it goes. But anyways,
Yeah.
I see our phones are blowing up. We got work to do, so we'll get out of here. As always, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in.